Hey, thanks for joining me today. Just out here in the garden. It's kind of humid today. Not really too hot. I'm sitting actually in the shade and I'm looking at some damage. Possibly not from wind, but from animal. I see a few pots laying on their side. I notice a little bit of nibbling right here, but it looks old. This nibbling looks a few days old. But what I wanted to talk about today was just plant care. And I got a few examples here, such as this one right here. This is a tomato plant. 9 times out of 10, I let my stuff grow naturally. Just let it do. No chemicals, just let it grow naturally. Whatever grows, grows. But just want you to look at this right here just to see what's going on. You have yellowing of the leaves, which is lack of nitrogen, possibly. You got a lot of little holes. I don't know if you can see. There's a lot of little tiny holes right there, possibly caused by a flea beetle that loves to nibble on plants, on the leaves. Some people say it's like a little buckshot from like a shotgun. So I'm just gonna major prune. Not really concerned. We're at the end of the season anyway with tomatoes. So I'm just gonna clean this plant up. Take care of any leaves, any branches that are not producing flowers or plants. That way we can focus all the energy to this little guy right here. Definitely not a store-bought plant. Grew this from seed. You can see the neglect. Yes, I will take that. Not too concerned though. Most of my fight this year was with squirrels. Also here, blossom end rotting. Not really concerned with that. Some of the plants, what I like to do, especially if they don't grow well or produce as vigorous as they used to, what I would do is I would take the fruit, remove the seeds, harvest for next year, and look for a better outcome. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm just demonstrating how I pretty up plants. Of course, they're going to need some nutrients. So what I'll do is I'll probably come through with some 511, maybe some ground eggshells, and just let these plants ride it out until the end of this planting season, which should be for tomatoes another month and a half, probably not even that much, and it's season to be over. Peppers are still going strong. See damage right here. Don't need that. Let the plant focus on growth. Pull out the damaged leaves. Possibly looks like bug, maybe a few diseases on it. Then you have weeding issues here. The weeds fight for competition of resources, water, any kind of fertilizer. You have these weeds in here fighting the plant for it. Can't eat weeds, but you can eat the plant. So you know which one's gone. Look at this guy, it's looking good already. Has some flowers on it, which means that a fruit is sure to follow. So I'm giving it an opportunity to focus on the flower and then the fruit, because we still have time. we still have time for another round of peppers. Then what I like to do with this guy is I'm going to overwinter this pepper. This is the first year pepper. I've never grown this type before. So just to give you a little example of what I'm going to do before it gets cold is I'm going to cut this back. I will cut off this branch, this one, and this one. And I'm going to leave the Y right here. So I'm just going to keep this right here. All this is gone. All the leaves gone. Take it inside. Windowsill. Water once a week. No fertilizer. Make sure it stays, gets a little bit of sun, not too much. Make sure it does not grow leaves over the winter time. And next year, we're going to have a head start. Because peppers actually take a long time to grow. So this way we'll be ahead of the curve. This guy's looking good already. A little bit of bite marks right there. Usually if you spray with neem oil, some people like to use diatomaceous earth. I kind of stay away from that because you could also kill earthworms, and you need the earthworms. Diatomaceous earth, what it does is it dries out the exoskeleton or the outside of a pest, or even a helper such as a ladybug, grasshopper. Yeah, you don't want grasshoppers, but it eliminates those bugs also. So to me, you get rid of one issue, you cause another. Perfect. Now the plant can focus all this energy on the fruit. This guy's ready. We're going to take him home. Let's do a little quick trip. Oh, here we go right here. I wanted you to see this. This was a cabbage. The other day I came and I cleaned off a whole bunch of caterpillars. This was a cabbage. Look at that damage. Now here's the funny thing about it is the reason why I like growing into pots is the reason why I like growing pots is because if you're having an issue such as this and the bugs are attacking, you can always take your pot, you can move it to a different area. If it's not getting enough sun, you could take it, move it to a different area. So it seems like on this side of my yard, this side of the property, I have a lot of issues with the white moth, which causes the caterpillars. Here's some eggs right here. Once those eggs hatch, right there, and there's a bug right there eating. Once those eggs hatch, the larvae or the little bug will start attacking these leaves. Now what I'm going to do is usually I would toss this out. I wouldn't mix it in with my compost, but I'll toss it out. I'm going to pull off all the leaves and I'm going to replant it somewhere else. And the reason why I'm going to do that, oh, look at these guys right here. See these teeny guys working on the damage? And then see the white cluster of eggs right there? Here's what I would do with this plant. Can it be saved? That's a good question. See all those eggs? So what I'm doing is I'm removing the food source. The one thing about cabbage, it's a brassica, and it actually can take a nice freeze. So what I would do is I will replant this in the yard and watch it grow over the winter. Just a little experiment. And that's without the bugs. I don't have to worry about them because it's going to be too cold for them. Now what I was talking about earlier, moving plants to another side of the yard, here's a prime example. Just a few feet away, look what I have. I have a cabbage. No damage. Look at that. Interesting. That's the difference, because if this was in ground with the other ones like that, if they were all together, this would be damaged also. Here's another way you can protect your vegetables. Insect netting. Now it's doing the trick somewhat, but as you can see, I got lackadaisical, relaxed, and I believe a moth got in here. And there's damage, but not a lot of damage. I'm not really concerned. What I usually do is come through and I cut the good leaves. This cabbage is still good even if it's not a head. Alright, one more trip. Believe it or not, bugs love peppers, which I didn't know. Look at the leaf damage. I don't see the culprit, but some type of chewing bug. Oh, maybe this is it right here. See that little guy right there? Grasshopper. That makes sense. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. Small holes, flea beetles. All these little tiny holes. Look like someone took a shotgun and pew. And now you have all these little tiny holes. Not too concerned with it because it's not harming the fruit. Next year I need to figure out how to get bigger peppers. This is not a bad size, but next year I want to get bigger. That is the Purple Beauty. With my trees, Japanese beetle damage. So if I can find a real nice spray in addition to neem oil, next year we're going to spray. We're going to add a lot of nitrogen, possibly early spring, so we can get this leaf growing. So that's what I got going on today. Catch you on the next video.